So Celebrity, man, what's going on? Good to catch up. How's things where you are right now?
Everything is good. Well, we were snowed in like a couple of days ago, but everything is clearing up now, thank God. So I'm back outside.
But you must be used to that in where you are though, right? In New York.
Yeah, but I'm usually always traveling when we get snowed in. But with this whole snow thing, nobody could travel. So yeah, I'm used to it, but I'm really not out here when it's like cold. I try to like escape as much as possible. But this time it got me this time. I got Catch It right now, which is the newest single, which is like super going crazy. Everybody bringing back the Bronx wine. We got the whole Bronx wine dance. So it's like, it's nowhere you from New York and you don't know about the Bronx wine. So the fact that I brung that back, got everybody doing the Bronx wine. My TikTok been going crazy with it. It's all over the radio right now. Hot 97, Power 105.1, and Jamaica, Zip FM. So it's like everybody just going crazy, and just me bringing back that old school energy where people were just in party dancing and just really having fun.
Yeah, because I'd never heard of that. I'm not gonna lie. And do you think people knew about that in Jamaica, like, or before?
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
And don't feel bad that you never heard of it, because a lot of people never heard of it. It's more of like a New York thing. Like if you're from New York, then you know about the Bronx wine. Like I grew up on going to the New York house parties and the house parties in the Bronx. You got Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan. But if you was from the Bronx, like you got Harlem. Everywhere have their own thing. Like the Bronx, we got the Bronx one. Harlem got the Harlem shake,
Yeah.
I don't know what they was doing in Brooklyn, maybe the Hill and so who knows? But that was a Bronx thing. So it was more of like people from those like Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, about the Bronx wine. But I don't feel like Jamaicans didn't know. Like even when I first started the challenge, people was watching the challenge and they was like, what's this? This is weird. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Now I have people on my comments like, oh, this is what? This is growing on me. Oh, I like it now. Because when you not used to seeing something, anything different is always going to be a shock to people, especially in the world where everybody just follow each other and do the same thing. So just me doing something different and bringing that back is like people really rocking with it right now.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so for Catch It, you've obviously linked up with Trackstar again. You had the major hit with Walking Trophy, and whenever I hear that Trackstar, what's his tag?
I ain't playing
with you. Whenever I hear that just makes me think of Walking Trophy, like forever. Now.
I love that you're paying attention. That's dope.
But how long does when did you first guys link up, you and Trackstar? Because you've got a mad chemistry.
Yeah. So me and Trackstar linked up when I first started music. That was when I first started taking music serious 5 years ago. And we linked up and we did records like Bubble, which people don't know. We did records like Unlock. We did records like Old Road Mod, what people love. Bubble is actually a huge hit from Trackstar that we did as well. We did records like Millie Rock that went big. I had 2 Milli when the Millie Rock song first came out. I had 2 Milli on the remix, and then we linked back up to do records like Virgin, which is big. And now we got Catch It, which is huge, and we got like 2 other huge records that, if people think Catch It is big, then they're gonna go crazy. Me and Trackstar have really great chemistry. I'm a Cancer, he's a Gemini. So we have good chemistry, both hard-headed. I'm able to tell him when he do something that I don't like, if it's something that doesn't sound good. If he do something on the record that doesn't sound good, I could really freely be like, y'all don't like that. Like, let's go another route. And he listening. That's the good thing with, that's what make a great producer and a great artist. Like criticism, we have to both be able to criticize each other and not get upset. Like some producers I've worked with and I don't feel comfortable to say, I don't like this. So what I would do is just not work with them. Wow, or just never finish up a record. Like I start something with them and never finish it because I'm not comfortable, or they'll just be in their feelings. With Trackstar, I could really be myself, 100% myself, because that's how he met me.
Yeah, I think with these relationships between artists and producers, you find that the ones that meet each other like at the beginning, at the early stages of their journey, they have a different kind of chemistry and a different kind of bond. Yeah,
that's true. You're absolutely right, though. You actually hit that on the nail, for true.
And talking on like working with other producers, and like I guess it's kind of different for each producer. Like, is it a different approach you have with each producer, or?
Yeah, when I first linked up to work with Beam, which he produced Boom Pon It, the chemistry was good too, which is like, it was weird for me because I'm like, damn, I thought like I would only get that chemistry from Trackstar. Like, you know, when you're used to working with somebody, you're like, oh, how is it gonna be working with someone else?
Yeah,
when I worked with Beam, the chemistry was so good. Like, he listened, we both hype each other up, because that's how I am. When I'm in the studio, I'm hype. Like, I don't think nobody get excited to my music how I do. Like, it starts with you, you know? So when I linked up with Beam for Boom Pon It, that's another big hit that the world loved that record. So that was good. My in-house producer as well is DJ Swango. So DJ Swango did a lot of records like Inside. He did like a few records to me. Inside, he did Love, like a lot of records on my EP, my last EP that I dropped, In a Real Life. He did In a Real Life. He did Cut Them Off. Like, Swango did a lot of records to me as well.
And where's is Trackstar based in? Is he based in New York or like, or?
Yeah, so I met Trackstar and I went all the way to find him. I'm from the Bronx. So if you guys know, like, the Bronx and Connecticut is very far. That's like 2.5 hours on the Metro North train. Okay. So he's from Connecticut. And when I first started, I used to have to go all the way to Connecticut every studio session. I was so annoyed, but the chemistry was so good that I didn't really care. But he just moved to Miami. So, you know, sometimes we fly out. We just got back from LA where we went just to, like, you know, vibe and just knock out records.
And talking on Walking Trophy, like, because that's a song that really, I think, introduced you to the world. It's certainly the song that, you know, really made me take notice of you. What did that, like, just talk us through like that sort of time period around when that happened? Like, how much did that change things for you?
It changed everything. Changed my life, like my living condition. You know, moved me out the hood into a different environment. You know, I was able to get my dream car. I was able to buy my house. I was able to move my family, take care of my mother. I just moved my mother. I just bought a house and moved my mom with me. Like, it just changed. It changed my life. Like my brother that got deported in Jamaica, I always said, like, music had to work for me. Like, this is all I have. Music got to work for me because I'm all they got. I was able to, you know, take care of my brother and just take care of my family. Stuff that I was doing work in a regular job, but it wasn't enough. It was just like paycheck to paycheck, you know? Yeah.
It's just crazy, like, how one song can just change so much. Like, it's just crazy.
One song could change your life.
It's crazy. And like, since then, obviously, you know, you've been very consistent, and I feel like that's the Hoodcelebrity that people really love, because obviously you've got different sides to your, you know, your sound and stuff, but I think Catch It as well is kind of, and So Pretty, that on that similar kind of vibe that people just, that's the Hoodcelebrity that people love the most.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, like, consistency is everything, right? So you can never lose if you never stop. You can never lose if you're consistent, no matter what you do in life. I don't care what you do. I don't care. Anything you put your energy into, you keep putting the same energy into it every day, and more energy, you're going to be successful at it. And that's anything you do in life. And that's how I feel for my music. And I genuinely love music. So being consistent is very easy. The only time you don't be consistent with something is when you don't really love it much. Like, I didn't start music because of money, you know? Like, money came along the way, but I used to do stuff for free. So for people who don't know, I went to high school for violin and dance. I used to play the violin and I used to dance. So music been a part of my life.
And you recently had your show in New York. How did that go?
So I was supposed to do my show.
Oh, you got canceled.
We're still doing the Catch It tour, yeah. We're still doing this Catch It tour in Gramercy Theater. It was going great, but with the whole COVID situation, like, you know, we had to make sure we do. I know it's annoying, safety and making sure, my fans are good and everybody's safe and just go about it the right way. So we had to put off the date, but we got it. We still gonna have it.
So where's your favorite place to perform then? You've obviously performed, loads of different countries, loads of different cities. Have you got a favorite place to play?
Not really. I love performing everywhere as long as the energy's good, good vibes. But when I perform in Israel, I love the energy. Like, I feel like they were so pure. Like, they really supportive. Because, I'm from New York. Like, I popped in New York first. So, when you get love from your hometown, that's big. Because your hometown is always the hardest, right? So
yeah, for real.
When you perform in New York, it's kind of like, yo, that's Hood. Like, Hood is lit. But it's kind of like, yeah, like, come on, Hood, we know you lit. Like, you know what I mean? But when you go to places like Israel and Tehran and the UK, like, they so appreciative. Like, they're like, yo, like, oh my God, like, it's kind of, and it makes sense because they don't get to see you like that, right? Mm-hmm. Your hometown always get to see you.
And I feel like, yeah, your hometown probably end up taking you for granted then. And, like you said, you're a hood celebrity. So, you're like, it becomes, correct. People can become used to it. Yeah.
Correct.
Like the videos I saw in Ghana of like Popcorn, like going down the road, and you've got like the whole people are just out, just following him. Like, it's crazy.
Yo, it's true. I was on MBS TV I think 4 days ago in Uganda. Mm-hmm. And yo, the guy was telling me, the guy that interviewed me, he was like, yo, your music is big, it's huge out here. He's like, we can't wait for you to come out here. And I'm like, my music is huge in Uganda? He's like, yo, you're huge out here. And even when I got off the interview, I had all my Uganda fans like, yo, like, oh my God, we saw you on TV today. Like, they were just going so crazy. And, I remember that because you saying with the whole popcorn situation, how they embrace that. They love him. Like, because they don't really even get to see him like that, like, and I'm pretty sure he get love from Jamaica too, but it's not going to ever be the same because they're used to him. They see him. That's their artist.
Yeah, for sure. So talking on Jamaica then, how regularly do you go back to Jamaica now then? Like, obviously you're based in New York.
Every time I have a show, and also like sometimes just to like, get a little vacation. Mm-hmm. Like I actually have a show in Jamaica. They just postponed it, I think till February, this month it's supposed to be. And, because of the whole COVID thing as well. Mm-hmm. But I've been to Jamaica 3 times before COVID started.
Okay.
And yeah, I haven't went since the whole COVID situation, but I go there a few and, wish I could go there more. Sometimes I try not to go like that because I have a brother that's like deported. And when I go, it's just that trauma every time I have to come back and leave him down there. Like, it's a pain that is a hurt that never go away. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes just, that every time I go down there, it's like I got to prepare myself too.
For sure. And how has the experience of going back to Jamaica like changed over the years? Like, obviously you're originally from Jamaica and you left when you were like 12, was it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then has your experience of Jamaica changed, like, or is it the same as you remember it when you were a kid?
No, it changed. It definitely changed. Like my great grandmother, I'm from Portmore, St. Catherine, South Bar to be exact. And when I was 12, like, my great grandmother, rest in peace to her, like she had like one of the richest house in the neighborhood. All her kids is from America. So they used to send down money to build onto the house and keep adding on and, do nice things. And when I went down there, it just looked different. Like all the houses that was like flashy and nice. Like I came from a great neighborhood. Like the houses is beautiful down there. People talk about Jamaica and they make it look like, oh, everywhere in Jamaica looks poor, looks bad. Like, nah. But when I went back, everything looked like bad, like trap house. And I was like, damn, like even my neighborhood, like we used to have a basketball court where in Jamaica, like we make, our parks is different. We made our own basketball court in the neighborhood. And it was so pretty when I was there, like so nice, well taken care of, that we'd sweep the neighborhood. Like when I went down there, I didn't see nobody sweep the neighborhood or like, none of that stuff that we used to do.
Wow, okay. And do you feel like any part of that is just your perception of it, or is that literally how it is, do you think? If that makes sense.
Nah, where with me speaking from like experience of my neighborhood, it looked like, you know, probably like younger generation, you know, younger generation is different. Like I'm talking about like when my grandmother was there, like her and her elder friends, that they'll sweep the neighborhood and stuff like that, you know, keep it up to par. Maybe the people them that's, you know, there now, maybe they're, you know, not really taking care of it the way they're supposed to. But when I went to places like Dunn's River and stuff like that, that was all like, look beautiful, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously you mentioned that you're from Portmore. I know that Kartel is probably one of your favorite artists. Yeah, he's got to be, right? Was he like, were you listening to him when you were living in Jamaica, or like was he big by that? Was he it must have been like what, like early 2000s that you were there? Yeah,
no, I actually came to America. I always remember because I have it tattooed on me. I came to America in 2000. Don't laugh at me. I came to America in 2001, but I always remember because my step-pops passed away in 2002. And I always use that to remember, like I came here in 2001. So in 2000s, I could say like my great grandmother was strict. Like I was not able to listen to Kartel in my house, but I used to listen to him every chance I have in my headphones. And when I came to America, I definitely used to listen to him as well too. But as I got older is when I really became like a big Kartel fan, because now I'm able to play my music and do what I want, right? So, but yeah, Kartel is dope, man. I look up to him as an artist. He's very versatile, and that's what I love about music. People who could create and make music about anything, and you know, he's going down in history for that.
And like, was there any particular songs that you remember listening to that like really, you know, like sort of inspired you or just made you think like, okay, this is what I want to do? Like any particular sort of songs?
No, not really. But songs that I love from him, like when I first started like listening to Kartel, is like the Schoolgirl, Don't Fucking At The School Bus, like stuff like that. Like me listening to him, like don't get feel up in the school bus, look out for the belly, look for the virus. You want A plus, not a minus. Love up the sex, or you're just a bus breast. When the conductor and I do under your dress. Spell psychology. Don't guess what's 18% of a million. Like I was like, how is somebody writing like just like the way he was writing about this stuff and like saying it and how he's putting the whole story together? That's a genius. Like that's a genius.
And where do you rate him like amongst the all-time greats? Where do you like rank him amongst the all-time greats of artists?
What do you mean, to be specific?
Like, would you say that he's like the greatest, or like where would you place him in history?
He's definitely in my list of the greatest artists. Yeah, he's definitely in that list with the Bob Marley, with the Shaggy, with the Sean Parker. Those people made history. With the 50 Cents, like he's definitely in that list.
So then when you went to the Bronx, obviously you're still a very young age. How much did that like were people listening to dancehall like that were your age, like around them, or was
Yeah, 100%. I mean, dancehall music been around even before I was born. So every party I went to, like even when I just came to America, whether it was family events, whether it was like parties, like, you know, just going to regular parties, like it was always dancehall music. It was always like, for me, you had to play dancehall music for me to dance, period. Like you had to play that type of music for me to dance. Like it was just something about me, like that music does something to me. It don't matter where I was at. I could be around all my Spanish friends, all my white friends, all my American friends. Like it don't matter. Like they know, like, yo, Hood is gonna put dancehall music. Like I let them, even if I'm in a car with my friends, like it's to the point that my Spanish friends, my white friends, they could sing the lyrics of these songs word for word. Like if you put on Alkaline, they could sing the lyrics to Alkaline song. Like After All, I got text message to my friend like, yo, what's the name of the Alkaline song you play? And I'm like, After All. They in the car with me, they turning up. You'd be like, you think they Jamaican.
So you're educating them.
Yeah, of the influence of my music, like, you know, and the same thing for me too. Like I learned Spanish and, you know, when I'm around them, like I rock with their music too. So I always teach them like, yo, you gotta know this, like dancehall music is lit, reggae music is lit. They dance to it, they turn up to it, they support them, they buy their music. I'm pretty sure if I go on my friend's iTunes or if I go on their Apple, they have, it's a couple of artists I know they have for sure. Vybz Kartel, Alkaline, Popcorn. Those are the artists I listen to. Lady Saw, Spice, like those are the people that I was rocking to, telling them like, yo, you gotta listen to these artists. Like, yo, this song is fire. Like, you know, like just me spreading the word. Like, they already knew the Sean Paul and Shaggy temperatures, no way you could play temperature and they don't get crazy. My friends, there's no way you could play Mr. Lover, Lover. They go crazy. So I've always, you know, promote my music and my culture everywhere I go, no matter who I was around. That never left me at all.
And what about the younger artists in Jamaica? Like, you listen to any of the new dancehall artists? Like, who you listen to right now?
I love Intense. I think Intense is fire. I love Intense. I feel like Intense remind me of, not saying their music is the same, but like, you know, sometimes an artist remind you of somebody else. I love Intense because I feel like he remind me of Alkaline. And I love Alkaline. Like, I never believed in like, oh, you can't love Vybz Kartel and love Alkaline. You can't love Alkaline and love Vybz Kartel. Like, I love them both. So Intense, I rock with Intense because he remind me of Alkaline. I like Skilly. I think Skilly, that Crocodile song, I like that song a lot. And I rock with Cranium, OD rock with Cranium. I got a collab coming up with Cranium. I think Cranium is dope. I love his music. And just like, you know, like embracing, like anybody that's embracing the culture of music, like I'm all for it.
I think, yeah, it seems overdue that you and Cranium link it up on a track. It's been like, what?
Yeah,
long
we
time
definitely
coming.
linked up on a record. Huh?
It's been a long time coming, that link up, for sure, man.
Yeah, we definitely linked up on a record. That record is a big smash.
So is that going to be on the forthcoming album?
We might drop it. That's actually a good question. Probably on the album, we'll probably drop it as a single.
So what's the album saying?
Maybe I save it for the album now. You got me thinking.
No, I want it now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait too long. But so what's the progress with the album now? Because last time I heard, you were set to be dropping it in like January, and it's February now.
I'm waiting for because I know COVID is gonna go away, so I'm waiting for this whole COVID thing, you know, for us to get over this, because I want to be able to go everywhere and perform this album. The album is big. The music on there is huge. Like, I would love to have that where I can go and perform it all over for the world, for all my fans.
And how far away are you finished it, or are you just waiting for it to release, or are you like still finishing it?
No, the album been done. I'm just waiting for it to release.
Okay.
I was supposed to drop it before. I was supposed to drop it before COVID. That's the weird part. But you know, that happened, so I had to hold off on it.
And how was the experience of making this album compared to your last one? Nearly 5 years ago now?
Trap versus Reggae. I did that. I came up with like 2 mixtapes. Trap versus Reggae was my first mixtape like 3 years ago. Then I came out with Inner Real Life. That was my second mixtape. And it was different, definitely different, because every time I listen to myself, every time I create music, I hear the growth in my music. I hear the growth in my voice. I hear the growth in my words. I hear the growth in how I articulate my words and, you know, how I deliver the message now. So the album is gonna go down in history for one of the best albums. Like, it's going down in history, and you can mark my words. Like, the album is, them songs on there is just not normal. They're huge. They're big hit songs. Crazy.
All right, and so the album, we can expect to see it in the next few months, hopefully, in the next couple months.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's really, that right there is really gonna be like, for sure. It's not gonna be going like, you're not gonna be like, yo, Hood is a year. You told me the album was coming out.
It's not gonna be like Dr. Dre, The Detox, where we're waiting like 10 years.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I promise you. I promise you.
But you said you got a collab with Cranium, which might be featured on the album. Have you got any other collabs that you can tell us about that are going to be on there?
I've done collabs with Lil TJ. I think we're gonna put that. I've done a collab with Fabio Foreign. Hopefully we get to put those on the album. And I've done a collab. I have a big collab coming up that I just wanted to be like a little secret. But I gave you a couple of names. I gave you a couple of names that I've never really done. So I have another one coming up that I think I'm gonna save it for the album as well. And you know, it's way bigger collabs coming. Like when I do my music, I don't really think off the rip like, oh, I'm gonna get a collab. Like, you know, like most of my music you hear that's made it big, I never really have a cosign. I just do great music and then, you know, just put it out there and know that the best outcome is gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Especially on record and songs like Walking Trophy, that's huge. That's by myself. I had a feature on it, like, you know, way later. But records like Boom Pon It doesn't have no features, huge record. Records like Run the Road doesn't have no features, huge record. So I don't really do music and think about a collab and who I'm gonna make piggyback and make this get bigger.
And often these things don't actually really work either. Like, it's, you know, on paper it looks like, okay, this could be great, you know, I could collab with this artist and stuff, but quite often it doesn't actually even really benefit the artist. Do you know what I mean? So
correct. It's funny, I had a studio session the other day with Lil Uzi. He invited me to, you know, do some music and stuff. He's like, yo, you want to work with me? He was like, yo, you're really talented. And when we was in the studio, he had some big records, by the way, coming out, like huge records. His album is going to be crazy. And he said one thing to me that is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. He asked me, he said, what record do you want me to jump on? And I said to him, I said, you could jump on Boom Pon It. And he said, Hood, why would I jump on Boom Pon It? The record is already huge. He said, the record is already, he said, I want to jump on a record that I think is big, that no one really likes. And I said, what? He was like, yeah. He said, that's what collab should be about. And I was so confused. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Like, why wouldn't you want to jump on the one that's hot, right? That's what people do. He's like, no, because it's hot already. He was like, you don't need a feature on that record. He's like, I want to jump on this record. And I was like, okay, like that stick with me, like, you know, it's going to stick with me forever. Because now when I go about doing a collab, I understand what collabs is about.